Q&A Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @Q&A Review. That is @CUEANDREVIEW. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@QNreview.com. That is INFORMATION @CUEANDREVIEW.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast, dated Wednesday the 27th of June 2024, is read to you by volunteers Corey, Hunter, Ian, Philip and Rebecca. Shamed Tesco boss is jailed. A Tesco manager who stole products from his store, then made thousands of pounds selling them online, has been jailed. Brazen James Shovlin used the in-store post office facility to send parcels of stolen items to buyers on a daily basis. The scam went on for almost 4 years, netting crooked Shovlin £27,000. Shovlin, 48, was jailed for 14 months at Airdrie Sheriff Court last Tuesday, June 18th. He admitted stealing perfume, clothing, electrical goods, computer equipment and other items from the Craigmarloch Tesco store in Cumbernauld between January 2016 and November 2020. The court heard that Shovlin, of Campsie View, Kirkintilloch, had worked at Tesco for 20 years and was a department manager before he was suspended after an internal probe. In early 2020, senior management noticed a significant amount of stock at the store had gone missing. Employees were interviewed and bag searches took place at the start and end of shifts in an attempt to find the culprit. Lauren Cole, prosecuting, said, "Some members of staff raised suspicions about Shovlin, and it was decided to use CCTV to monitor him from the beginning to the end of his shift. He was seen to make numerous trips between the point of sale room and the training room. He was walking in an unnatural way, carrying items on 2 occasions, and looking out of a window constantly to ensure the coast was clear. On one occasion, he stared at the security cameras while putting hats and gloves in a basket that he pushed under a trolley. Shovlin was also seen on CCTV in a back corridor where he had no reason to be. Management went there and found security tags that had been removed from products. Shovlin was suspended in November 2020. It emerged that, under the username Celtic Yoda, he had been selling items via eBay, Twitter and Instagram accounts. Investigators were told Shovlin had boasted to a colleague that the best way to smuggle items out was via the in-store post office. Mrs. Cole stated, "It emerged the accused had used the post office on a daily basis, bringing in 2 or 3 brown paper parcels at a time. He told the manager there that he was selling toys online." Tesco bosses eventually reported Shovlin to the police. A search warrant was issued for his home, and stolen items were seized from various rooms and the loft. Shovlin had used a PayPal account to process sales of the stolen property. He was initially charged with stealing goods worth £45,000, but pleaded guilty to a charge that involved the reduced figure of £27,000. His lawyer said that items Shovlin stole had been discontinued and were being sold to staff cheaply. She claimed he developed an addiction for selling the goods, adding, "He is in a position to make restitution, and I suggest the matter can be dealt with through a non-custodial sentence." However, Sheriff Paul Harron told Shovlin, "This offending went on for a significant period and involved a breach of positional trust. The sums involved are also significant, and for these reasons no alternative to custody is appropriate." And the article was read by me, Ian McKenna. A weekend of fun for all at Kirkintilloch Festival 2024. This year's Kirkintilloch Canal Festival looks like once again being a crowd puller. As the finishing touches have been put to the packed programme, there promises to be something for everyone, with Sunday Funday the highlight of the weekend. On Saturday, August 31st, from 5pm to 10pm, there will be a free live music concert with a DJ and spectacular fireworks at Southbank Marina, with more news being revealed soon. Already arranged for the Sunday Funday on September 1st from noon to 5pm, there will be free activities, including canoeing and archery at Southbank Marina, with live music and performances on stage, including Eastern Bartonshire's acclaimed rock choir. There will also be a paid-for fun fair, climbing wall, and roller disco, and a hot food court with a chance to relax with a cocktail or a beer. In the Shamrock Street car park, next to Sainsbury's, Kirkintilloch Baptist Church will host free fun, including a flight simulator and a real Cessna 150 aircraft, face painting, laser quest, assault course, inflatables, pillow battles, wrecking ball, bouncy fun, live stage, and a toddler fun zone in crafts. There will also be a cream teas in the Greenhouse Cafe, donation required, as well as a prayer tent. Meanwhile, at Cowgate and Barleybank there will be classic cars, a farmer's market, wide range of craft stalls and food and drink for sale. In the newly transformed Regent Gardens, there will be performances by Scottish tribal band Clan and Drumma, Dumbartonshire Concert Band, and the Juggling Gent. And if that wasn't enough, in the Southbank Drive grounds of Kirkintilloch Police Station, there will be detective training, an outrun and officer speed check challenge, beat the goalie, off-road bikes, virtual reality headsets, quiz, challenges and more. Anne Davey, Eastern Bartonshire Council Chief Executive, said, "We're hard at work creating another great lineup for the Kirkintilloch Canal Festival in conjunction with a range of partner organisations in the public and private sectors. Our focus is on providing as many free activities as possible, including opportunities for people of all ages to get active. Look out for more updates in the coming weeks." This week in history. June 29, 1956. Actress Marilyn Monroe married playwright Arthur Miller. June 30th, 1960. Norman Bates was unleashed onto an unsuspecting world when Hitchcock's classic chiller Psycho was premiered in New York. On this day last year, HMP Fosse Way, Britain's newest prison, based on a design to help cut crime, rehabilitate offenders and boost the local economy, officially opened. July 1st, 1937, the 999 emergency service came into operation in Britain. On this day last year, the press watchdog upheld a complaint that a Jeremy Clarkson opinion column in The Sun was sexist towards the Duchess of Sussex, describing some of the comments about her as pejorative and prejudicial. July 2nd, 1964, President Johnson signed the USA Civil Rights Bill, prohibiting racial discrimination. On this day last year, X, formerly known as Twitter, began limiting the number of tweets people can read, Elon Musk announced. July the 3rd, 1959, the first radio broadcast of Sing Something Simple with Cliff Adams and the Adams Singers took place, providing non-stop songs for half an hour. On this day last year, Co-op Funeral Care announced plans to offer water cremations, a new form of burial as a sustainable alternative to traditional burials or cremations. Marjorie steps out for our carers. A walk across the country has raised £950 to help carers. The sponsored trek was completed by Eastern Bartonshire's Marjorie Toms, whose coast-to-coast walk took her from Kirkby Stephen in Cumbria to Robin Hood's Bay in Yorkshire. Having completed the first half in 2023, Marjorie walked 107 miles in May over 2 weeks, with all the money raised for Carers Link Eastern Bartonshire. Now in its 20th year, Carers Link supports around 1,500 carers in the local community each year and provides an array of crucial services ranging from information and practical support to one-on-one support and carers support groups. Working closely with East Bartonshire schools, the charity offers invaluable help to young carers aged from 5 to 25 with core services that include emotional support, well-being, information and advocacy, holiday breaks and activities. No doubt ready to put her feet up after the amazing journey, Marjorie, who's not giving away her age, said, "It was a challenging walk in all kinds of weather and we got there. We started at Kirkby-Stephen in Cumbria, walking through the Yorkshire Dales and the North Yorkshire Moors to Robin Hood's Bay. The first half was completed last year, about 90 miles from St Bees via the Lake District, Fells, to Kirkby-Stephen. In total, it was 109 miles. Thank you so much to everyone in the community that got behind us and Carers Link. The generous donations will directly impact the lives of carers in East Bartonshire, providing them with the resources they need to continue their vital role while also ensuring they receive the support they deserve. Carers Link provides invaluable assistance and support to those who selflessly care for their loved ones without any financial compensation." Congratulating her, Jennifer Rowe, Chief Executive Officer of Carers Link East Bartonshire, said, "We are absolutely delighted that the community got behind Marjorie to raise £950 for young and adult unpaid carers locally. Our services are now more important than ever in reaching carers, and fundraising makes a difference to being able to deliver our core services. If you or your organisation would like to help unpaid carers with your own fundraising activity, please email veronica@carersLink.org.uk. That's VERONICA @CarersLink.org.uk. Contact was bail breach. A man who brutally attacked his wife and recorded her with a hidden camera breached a court order by sending her emails. Peter Clark, 41, was told not to contact Stacey Clark, 39, while on bail in March 2022. Clark, using the name Nick Dunn from TV's Gone Girl, asked her to go for a walk in the park she frequented and that he missed her. The character in the hit show is described as charming, manipulative and deceitful, and the prime suspects in the disappearance of his wife. Clark was initially locked up after he was convicted of engaging in a course of behaviour which was abusive as his partner or ex-partner at their home in Kirkintilloch. A jury trial heard Clark hurled abuse at his wife of 9 years and claimed that she was having an affair. Manipulative Clark took Stacey's phone, paid £400 for a lie detector test, and assaulted her when she refused to take part. During another attack, Clark kicked hospital nurse Stacey on the head like it was a football while she suffered from COVID-19. When Stacey returned to the family home after their split, she found a pinhole camera hidden in the standby light of her Sky TV box. Clark was released from prison when he was given a community payback order at Glasgow Sheriff Court earlier this month. He then appeared back at the same court last week, where he pled guilty to breaching his bail conditions by contacting Stacey. The court heard that she received an email at 5:30 am on March the 22nd, 2022, from the email address of Nick Dunn 1984. Prosecutor Victoria Keel said, the message said IMY, which is an abbreviation of I miss you. She received a further message at 12 PM 5 days later from the email address saying, fancy a walk at Palace Park at 1:30? She had been at the park the day before and thought that's what it meant. Clark went on to send another message saying, sorry, wrong number, and Stacey replied, who is this? Clark replied, sorry for this, just wanted to make sure you're okay. Just want to know if you're around in the palace. Sorry about before. Hope to make it up to you sometime. Here if you need me. I hope you forgive me. The heart wants what it wants. Love, Nick. Stacey knew from the messages that it was Clark who contacted her and told the police. Sheriff Emil Elfala stated that it was a serious offence and she would allow Clark's current community payback order to progress. The matter will call again for sentencing in August. At the earlier hearing, Sheriff John McCormick told Clark, "Your background report is one of the most unusual or extreme reports I've seen." He ordered that Clark, of Bishopbriggs, must do 300 hours of unpaid work and also put him under supervision for 3 years. He was also tagged for 12 months, meaning he must remain in his home between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. A 15-year non-harassment order was also granted, which prohibits Clark having any contact with Stacey. Parents say thanks to Ortho team. A Bishopbriggs family has thanked the team at the Royal Hospital for Children who helped their daughter after a traumatic accident. They met the Glasgow Hospital's acute orthopaedic trauma liaison team after their daughter Georgia was involved in an incident on holiday in Stornoway late last year. But, thanks to the two team members, Janine O'Donnell and Louise McCormack, who are the single point of contact for parents and carers when their child has been in an accident that involves fractures and breaks, her recovery was smoothed. Parents, Fiona and Howard, said their daughter was enjoying a horse riding lesson on a Stornoway beach when she fell and, painfully, the horse trampled on her leg. The outcome was a nasty break and, following excellent assessment and care at Stornoway's Accident and Emergency Department, surgeons made the decision that, due to the severity of Georgia's break, she required the National Trauma Centre at the Royal Hospital for Children. Howard said, "After Georgia was triaged, treated for pain and x-rayed in Stornoway, the information was shared with the Royal Hospital for Children, which requested further scans, including a CT, to determine the severity and if surgery was required. It was at this point the RHHC trauma and orthopaedic team stepped in. There was no delay in them calling us to explain what was going on, how Georgia's care would be transferred over to them, and what we could expect the next steps to be. We were nervous about what would happen when we reached Glasgow, but were emotional to see that the team was waiting to greet us. They knew our names, they had plans in place, and the doctors were assigned to Georgia's case." Janine asked Georgia's mum what she personally needed, and she responded, "A hug." That's what she received. A huge cuddle for a mum who was worried about her daughter made us relax and feel safe in their care. Praising the team, he added, "Janine and Louise were also amazing at giving Georgia the social interaction she needed to keep going. They knew exactly what to say to her when they could see her becoming sad or anxious. They made sure things happened when they were supposed to and how they were supposed to, while also having an interest in her mental state and well-being. They removed our fears and helped her daughter, and for that we are incredibly grateful to them and to all the clinicians and surgeons for their support." Janine and Louise worked with 2,803 patients last year alone. They also won Team of the Year at the NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Women's and Children Award in May 2024. The team supports families either virtually, in hospital, or even after discharge. They collate information from the multidisciplinary teams working on a child's care, including x-rays and surgery to equipment needs, physiotherapy, and communicate that to parents. Janine said, "We touch every part of the care involved, and that extends to supporting the social aspect and supporting the parents with what they need while the child is in hospital or afterward. An example of this is, with the consent from the families, we share information with schools to ensure a safe transition back for the child." Couple win fight to keep extension. A couple have saved their home extension from the bulldozers after a battle over planning permission. Gordon and Katie Maxwell built the 2-storey addition to the side and rear of their home in Duncrine Place, Bishopbriggs, but they had only applied for a single level structure at the rear when the works were carried out in 2018. In February this year, Eastern Bartonshire Council sent him a notice ruling the work had been done without proper permission. The enforcement notice said they had to completely remove it or face a fine of up to £50,000. The Maxwells appealed to the Scottish Government and insisted it could not be enforced as the work was completed out with time limits. This week, a government reporter has quashed the council's decision after the couple provided dated photographs and paperwork which proved the work had been completed by December 2018. In a letter to the government, Mr and Mrs Maxwell said, "We are appealing this notice based on the legislation which states where there has been a breach of planning control, consisting in the carrying out without planning permission of building, engineering, mining or other operations in, on, over or under land, no enforcement action may be taken after the end of the period of 4 years beginning with the date on which the operations were substantially complete." As you can see from the programme of works, the substantial completion date was noted as December the 23rd, 2018. Taking the above timeline of works into consideration, the time duration from substantial completion of the construction works to the date of the enforcement notice, which is dated as February 29th, 2024, is recorded as 5 years, 2 months and 6 days. This time duration is far greater than the duration of 4 years stated within the time limits contained within the enforcement notice. In his decision, government reporter Andrew Fleming said, The appellant has provided 2 sets of photographs which show the various work elements carried out at the property. Each photograph is stamped with the time and date when they were taken. I am satisfied that an accurate record of the time and date of each photograph has been provided. He added, given that the enforcement notice is dated February 29th, 2024, a period in excess of 4 years, beginning on the date that the works were substantially completed, has now lapsed. No enforcement action can be taken as a result. Heather Holland, Executive Officer for Land, Planning and Development at Eastern Bartonshire Council, said, "We note the decision from the Scottish Government reporter and will review the status of this case accordingly."
McGill's milestone as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. McGill's Bus Group, the UK's largest independent bus operator, is celebrating a key milestone as it records 10 million zero-emission miles. McGill's boasts one of the largest fleets of electric buses in Scotland and made the announcement on June the 20th, National Clean Air Day, which is dedicated to highlighting the impact of air pollution on our health and the environment. The bus owners have upgraded the infrastructure at 4 of its depots to facilitate the charging and maintenance of the electric fleet. The company's substantial £55 million investment in both the fleet and its associated infrastructure places McGill's Bus Group among the top UK companies leading the way in fleet decarbonisation. In total, McGill's electric buses has travelled the equivalent of more than 400 times round the globe on their zero-emission journey.
Bin permits now needed. Householders in Eastern Bartonshire are now being invited to purchase garden waste permits for 2024-25. From Sunday, July the 7th, Eastern Bartonshire Council will charge for the collection of garden waste contained in residents' green bins. To continue to use the service after this date, householders will need to purchase and display a garden waste permit on their green bin. If they do not have a garden waste permit displayed, their bin will not be emptied. There will be a single annual charge of £50 per green bin, which will entitle the household to 19 fortnightly collections from March to November. Permits can be applied for online by visiting the Council's website at www.easternbartonshire.gov.uk/residents/recycling and waste garden waste collection charge. It takes up to 14 days for a permit to arrive, so residents are encouraged to complete the form as soon as possible to ensure that a green bin is emptied from July the 7th. As the charge will be introduced halfway through the season, it will be pro rata for the first year. Householders will be required to pay £26.32 per green bin for the 2024 season. The introduction of a charge follows a unanimous decision taken at the Council's meeting Thursday, December the 14th last year. It brings the Council in line with the majority of Scottish local authorities, which have already introduced charges for the non-statutory service, meaning it can be charged for. Anne Davey, Eastern Bartonshire Council Chief Executive, said, "We faced significant budget reductions for some time, and introducing garden waste charges is something we've managed to avoid doing thus far. However, with reducing budgets and increasing costs, the Council can no longer operate this type of collection as a free service, as currently garden waste collections is not a statutory service. To retain a garden waste collection service, it is necessary to introduce a charge to contribute towards the cost of its provision. Residents who choose not to apply for a permit can continue to dispose of garden waste at Mavis Valley Recycling Centre free of charge." Read by Rebecca.
Gardening tips and tea. Garden lovers can get some tips from experts and enjoy a lovely afternoon tea. Dobie's Mulgai store is encouraging people to take inspiration from holidays in tropical climates that bring sunny vibes to their garden planting. Customers can now book the 90-minute planting and afternoon tea holiday edition for Tuesday, July the 16th or Saturday, July the 20th at 3 p.m, which will be followed by delicious Dobie's afternoon tea. Attendees will get to participate in an interactive workshop led by one of Dobie's horticultural experts with a question and answer and demo on the filler, thriller and spiller planting technique using a selection of tropical plants selected by the Royal Horticultural Society Chelsea Flower Show Chair of Assessors and Dobie's senior buyer Claire Bishop. With this knowledge, customers will then get the chance to create their own tropical planter worth £30 to take home using a pot specially selected to showcase the seasonal display. Tickets are £40 with pre-booking essential at www.dobies.com/events.
Stem Cell Register. 20,000 people now signed up. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Services partnership with Anthony Dolan has reached a new milestone, with the 20,000th donor signed up to the blood cancer charity's Stem Cell Register. At an event held in the Royal High School in Edinburgh, pupil Erin Tocker became the milestone number, one of 52 young people from her school to join the register. Erin, 17, wanted to give back to Anthony Nolan after the charity helped her younger sister, Ailey, who received a stem cell transplant 14 years ago. Ailey was diagnosed with hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, HLC, when she was only 7 weeks old. When she was 1 year old, she had her first stem cell transplant and a further transplant 6 months later. Erin told her family's story to her classmates and teachers to encourage them to join the stem cell register. Erin said, "Unless you've been directly helped by a stem cell transplant or know someone who has been, not many people would know about the register." When Erin found out she was the 20,000th person to join the register through the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service partnership, she said, "It mind-boggled me. Signing up was an incredible experience. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service volunteers made time to talk to everyone in detail and talk to us about what joining the register means." The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service delivers talks in schools around Scotland to encourage young people to sign up to the Anthony Nolan Register, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. Former firefighter Ali Boyle founded the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service partnership with Anthony Nolan in 2009, after he was diagnosed with a blood cancer for which the only potential cure was a stem cell transplant. Ali said, "The partnership was established because, after I was diagnosed with a blood cancer, I could see the desperate need for people to join the stem cell register. Our original aim was to add 1,200 people to the register, so to see Erin become their 20,000th person is mind-blowing. We are extremely proud of Erin and all the young people who have so enthusiastically supported our life-saving mission. They fill us with optimism for the future as they show their ability and determination to make a difference. I will still need a transplant one day, and, like 75% of the population, I don't have a family match, but I take great comfort in the fact that I've seen how willing people are to step forward to save the life of someone they've never met. Of the 20,000 registered through the partnership, 14,250 have been signed up from schools." Charity Partnership Chair Andy Watt said, "To reach this milestone, our volunteers have engaged with more than 31,000 young people. Every one of those has not only learned about stem cell, blood and organ donation, but has also had an insight into what the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service is all about, saving and improving lives." Henry Brand, Chief Executive of Anthony Nolan, added, "It's incredible that 20,000 young people have joined the Anthony Nolan Register, inspired by the tireless work of the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service. Each and every one of these 20,000 young people represents a real glimmer of hope. There are thousands of patients around the world with blood cancer and blood disorders in need of a matching stem cell donor to give them a second chance at life. Thanks to all our SFRS volunteers and those signing up to the register, we can continue to save lives through stem cells." Anthony Nolan recruits people aged 16 to 30 to the stem cell register, as research has shown younger people are more likely to be chosen to donate. To join, visit www.anthonynolan.org/SFRS. That's www.anthonynolan.org/SFRS. Drain on resources. During the summer months last year, firefighters in Scotland responded to at least 40 deliberate fires every day. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service recorded 3,900 deliberate fires between June and August 2023. More than 3,200 were classified as secondary fires, such as incidents involving derelict buildings, unoccupied buildings, grassland and refuse. The statistics recorded 87 deliberate fires in derelict buildings and 54 in unoccupied buildings, with 1,428 affecting grassland and 1,399 refuse fires. Launching the Safer Summer campaign, Scottish Fire and Rescue Service Assistant Chief Officer David Lockhart said, "Firefighters were called to over 40 deliberate fires daily last summer, which is a needless drain on our resources. It is not only reckless and dangerous, but can divert Scottish Fire and Rescue Service resources away from genuine emergencies."
Spotlight on our town centres. In 2024, Scotland Loves Local Awards will shine a spotlight on those working tirelessly to secure a better, stronger future for people and places across the country. Nominations are open for the 2024 Scotland Loves Local Awards, with people urged to come forward to shine a spotlight on their community's champions. The aim is to celebrate the achievement and determination of local communities across the country. Organised by Scotland's Town Partnership, STP, the awards recognise and reward all that's great about the nation's towns and neighbourhoods and work to ensure they become a stronger and more sustainable. They will also honour the innovation of organisations and enterprises driving economic success, attracting investment and delivering change in their area. And they will highlight the inspirational impact of positive leadership along with high street heroes who go above and beyond to make communities of all sizes better places in which to live, work and visit. Kimberly Guthrie, STP's Chief Officer, said, The desire to make a difference and create a new future for Scotland's communities should never be underestimated. We see every day how hard work and innovation is helping people and places to manage the cost of living, tackle the climate emergency while transforming places to become better, fairer, more attractive and successful. The Scotland Loves Local Awards are a chance to shine a spotlight on the determination and collaboration which really is improving lives in so many ways. Nationally, awards will be presented to Town of the Year, Most Enterprising Community and Place Leader of the Year. 8 High Street Hero Awards will also be presented, one in each of Scottish Parliament's electoral regions of Central Scotland, Glasgow, Highland and Islands, Lothian, Mid Lothian and Fife, North East Scotland, South Scotland and West Scotland. Spearheaded by STP and supported by the Scottish Government, Scotland Loves Local is a movement encouraging people to create a better future for their community by choosing local. This is the 4th year the awards have been held. Award nominations can be made at www.lovelocal, where full category criteria can be found. There you can briefly share the detail of your nominee and why you would like to see them recognised. The closing date for nominations is 5 p.m. on Friday, August the 23rd. Finalists will be announced in September with presentations made to the winners in October. The achievements of finalists will also be celebrated at the Scotland's Towns Conference in Perth on November 27th.
Moonwalk Scotland. On Saturday, September the 7th, hundreds of men and women will set off from Holyrood Park in Edinburgh to walk an overnight half or full marathon through the streets of the capital. The aim of Moonwalk Scotland is to raise much needed money to support those living with cancer. With over 690 people diagnosed with breast cancer each week, it is the second most common cancer in Scotland, and the need to raise money and provide support is now greater than ever. Over the past 16 years, the iconic nighttime event, organised by breast cancer charity Walk the Walk, has raised over £22 million, with the money being granted to charities across Scotland. Buildings across the city will be lighting up pink in support of the Moonwalk. Walkers can also take on their challenges virtually in their own areas. Sign up now for the event at https://walkthewalk.org.
Every penny counts for our animals in need. The Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has witnessed a significant surge in animals in need arriving through its stores. There was a 25% increase in 2023, according to the National Animal Charity. Almost 3/4 of these animals required immediate veterinary treatment, in many cases due to intentional abuse but also unintentional harm, with owners no longer able to afford veterinary treatment. The charity is warning that, as Scotland continues to face an animal welfare crisis, more support than ever is needed. Some 43% of people who contacted the SSPCA in 2023 to discuss having to give up their animal gave financial circumstances as a reason. The charity has also experienced a concerning 10% rise in calls to its free helpline, with more than 250,000 calls in 2023, equating to 277,911. A new report, highlighting the charity's work in 2023 to rescue and rehabilitate thousands of pets, wild animals and farmed animals, saw the figures being released. It comes at a time when the charity, like many organisations, has seen the cost of delivering its services spiral with rising energy bills, food and veterinary costs. The 25% increase in arrivals at rescue and rehoming centres saw 6,944 animals taken into the charity's care, 4,404 of which required veterinary treatment. One well-loved 6-year-old dog, called Bentley, arrived at the charity's Aberdeen Animal Rescue and Rehoming Centre after his owners couldn't afford to treat his skin problems and allergies. They had to make the heartbreaking decision to give up their beloved animal simply because of the cost of his medical care. The SSPCA have since successfully found Bentley a loving new home. In the same year, the charity's pioneering pet aid service worked with 56 food banks across Scotland. As of June, that has now increased to 71, providing pet food essentials to help people struggling to make ends meet. The charity is now piloting an innovative sister service to Pet Aid, offering community veterinary support to help keep people and their pets together. Being piloted in the Glasgow area, the project sees a community veterinary nurse team visit owners and their pets at home to carry out basic healthcare assessments. Animals in need of more complex veterinary treatment can then be referred to the charity's Glasgow centre. Kirstine Campbell, SSPCA Chief Executive, said, "It's clear from our latest annual figures that animals across Scotland have never needed us more. It is heartbreaking to see so many animals come to us because the owners simply can no longer cope or make ends meet. We are determined to be here for animals. We've introduced new services and changed the way we work in communities across Scotland so that we can help as many people and animals as possible to stay together. But thousands more animals are still coming through our doors every year, and we want to be there for them. We can only do that with help, and it costs us more to keep the animals who need us than the money we are raising, so every penny counts."
Family announcements. Deaths. Day. Eileen Winifred. It is with great sadness the family announced the death of Eileen Winifred Day of Lomond Drive, Bishopbriggs, on June 19th, 2024. Dearly beloved wife of the late Gordon, loved mother of Suzanne, Jacqueline and Simon, loving grandma to Stephen, Jamie, Ellen and Jenna. Much respected teacher, keen gardener, skilled craftswoman and dear friend to many. Funeral service to take place on Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024 at Clydebank Crematorium, Dalnotar at 1:30 p.m. Family flowers only please, donations if desired to Erskine Hospital. Henderson. Alan. Peacefully on June 18th, 2024 at Whitefield Lodge Care Home, Lennoxtown. Alan, beloved husband of Elizabeth, loving father to William, Jean and Elizabeth, father-in-law to Anne and Craig, and grandfather to Craig, Callum, Kyle and Catherine. Funeral service to take place on Monday, July 1st, 2024 at St Mary's Parish Church, Kirkintilloch at 12 noon. Thereafter to Old Isle Cemetery, Old Section, arriving at 1 p.m. There will be a retiral collection in favour of Chest, Heart and Stroke, Scotland. Tungat. Alan Reginald. Following an operation and a hoped-for recovery, Alan's health deteriorated gradually and he finally passed on June 6, 2024 in the Glasgow Royal Infirmary. He will be sadly missed by relatives, friends and neighbours alike. The funeral service will be at Cadder Church on July 2nd, 2024 at 12:30 p.m. and the burial afterwards at Cadder Cemetery. There will be a collection for Cancer Research UK. No black ties, colourful ties please. All friends and relatives welcome. In Memoriam. Keon, Ella. In loving memory of my dear mother, Ella, died June 30th, 1969. Always remembered, Robert. Matheson, Robin. Remembering Robin, our much-loved and sorely missed nephew. Always in our thoughts and forever in our hearts. Nancy and Norman, kiss, kiss.
Scots unit tackles global exploitation of children. The international crime-fighting body Interpol is set to receive its biggest ever private funding injection to work with Scottish-based experts to better combat the sexual exploitation of children. Plans for a £30 million funding deal were announced following a meeting of the board of the Human Dignity Foundation, HDF, which has supported Interpol's efforts with over £10 million in the past decade. In partnership with the Edinburgh-based Childlight Global Child Safety Institute, the deal would equip frontline police globally with skills, data and insights to more quickly identify and rescue children at risk and bring more perpetrators to justice. It comes after Childlight, a data institute, produced global research suggesting that the lives of more than 300 million young people each year are blighted by online sexual exploitation and abuse, with reports of offences lodged once every second. It is intended that the new investment over 7 years will be matched by Interpol and other partners as threats to children escalate year on year. It is hoped the deal will encourage others to join together with funding, data and expertise to fight the growing problem. The funding will support a recent Interpol resolution to work more effectively against child abuse and provide police with a stronger evidence base to tackle this global scourge through training, mentoring and access to data. It follows many months of discussions and engagement with Interpol, led by Executive Director Stephen Kavanagh, who leads the body's global response to serious crime. Dr. John Climax, the HDF chair, said Stephen's leadership and commitment over many years to fight the growing problem had persuaded him that Interpol was really ideally placed to equip frontline police with vital resources. Stephen is currently a board member of Childlight and We Protect Global Alliance, a global movement of governments, companies and charities to prevent sexual exploitation and abuse online. A lack of training and resources means police investigators in less than half of the 196 Interpol member countries currently act on data contained in its International Child Sexual Exploitation Image and Video Database. The new funding is intended to help all 196 countries accelerate and enhance their response to those suffering. To date, the database, which shows more than 4.9 million images and videos and connects 68 countries, has helped identify more than 37,900 victims worldwide. Using image and video comparison software, the database enables investigators to instantly make connections between victims, abusers and places. It also avoids duplication of effort by letting investigators know whether images have already been identified in another country. Dr. Climax said, "The sexual exploitation and abuse of children is a serious global health emergency prevalent in every country, global in nature, and growing exponentially. I share Stephen's view, therefore, that police in every country must have the means to fight it. Now is the time for the world to work together and provide a comprehensive public health and law enforcement response, because children can't wait." Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald's letters page, date Wednesday, June 26. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Scottish, in name only Liberal Democrats. Sir, I have just received the latest in a stream of Scottish Liberal Democrat election leaflets and pretended newspapers. In small print it reveals that the leaflet was printed in Leicester and promoted on behalf of the Liberal Democrats, London. I think that tells you all you need to know about the so-called Scottish Liberal Democrats. Similarly, both Scottish Labour registered with the Electoral Commission as an accounting unit of the UK Labour Party, and Scottish Conservatives are active for the UK parties in Scotland. Very short and actual policy details, the primary aim of these leaflets is to attack and discredit the SNP while declaring that only the Lib Dems can beat the SNP here. But why would they want to beat the SNP? At the recent UK Lib Dem manifesto launch, their leader Sir Ed Davey made much of their pledge to introduce free personal care. Well, we in Scotland have already had this for years under our SNP government. In addition, we have, among many other benefits, the baby box, free prescriptions, free university tuition, free bus travel for under 22s and over 60s, no NHS hospital parking charges, best funded and best performing NHS in the UK, and the groundbreaking Scottish Child Payment only available in Scotland, lifting over 100,000 children out of poverty. And all this has been achieved within the constraints of our limited budget from Westminster. Only the SNP is a truly Scottish party. Only the SNP will put the people of Scotland first. Only a vote for the SNP will help make Scotland a better, fairer and more equal country. Yours, etc. Linda McIlvenny, Lindsay. Voting made simple. Sir, the voting choice for the general election can be made simpler if one is a unionist or Brexiteer. It is simply a question of elimination. For the unionists, the parties that can be eliminated are obviously the SNP, Greens and Alba. What is left? Conservative, Labour, Lib Dems and Reform. For the Brexiteers, the Lib Dems have always made it clear that they would like to rejoin the EU, therefore that would rule them out. As Starmer keeps changing his mind on everything, no matter what he says, he cannot be trusted not to also push for rejoining the EU, so that would rule Labour out. By the way, I would also not trust him to make a deal with the SNP if he thought it was to his benefit. What parties does that leave? The Conservatives and Reform. Whilst Reform would appear to have Britain's interest at heart, it is possible that some of their members may be so right-wing as to be closer to the BNP. Also, I am not sure what their intentions are regarding the EU. What then is left? Conservative. Although they have a tendency occasionally of shooting themselves in the foot, they are the only ones to be relied on to stop the breakup of Britain and maintaining our independence from Europe, besides having clear intentions on illegal immigration and plans to call a halt to this stupid woke/political correctness slowly engulfing us. Yours, etc., Gordon Bannatyne, by email. Spinning Starmer. Sir, beware the small print. Every Labour pledge comes with a warning if conditions allow. This strongly suggests a Labour government will simply adopt the SNP tactic of blaming someone else, in this case the Conservatives, for their inability to live up to the pre-election hype. Everything is fully costed, except that it won't be. I suspect the Tory claim that taxes will rise by £2,000 per head will be an understatement. Labour make government sound so easy, so expect years of excuses and disappointment. Keir Starmer is not the saviour, but a very naughty boy spinning a story. Yours, etc., Ken Curry, address supplied. Views spoiled. Sir, getting electricity from wind is not the fresh and clean joy many imagine. It is an industry and comes with industrial downsides aplenty. Overhead cables, pylons and substations, plus earthworks, concrete and access roads. The windmills themselves are just part of the package. Country landscapes ruined. Is it a coincidence that those who support wind power tend to live in towns where they will never see or have to live with the destruction of our beautiful country? Yours, etc., Malcolm Parkin, by email. Be prepared for the summer. With cracking weather forecast for this week, people across Scotland are being reminded to be summer ready with their health over the coming months. NHS 24 is promoting its newest health campaign in advance of the school and summer holidays to ensure the public can effectively treat any minor illnesses or ailments at home. The campaign also highlights health preparedness and shares information on where to access the right care in the right place should further clinical advice be required. A summer health campaign page has been published on NHS Inform, detailing common conditions such as insect bites and stings, food safety advice for barbecues, and guidance on how to stay safe in the sun. The page is packed with information on how to stay healthy in the warmer months. Dr. Ron Cook, NHS 24 Medical Director, explained why we should still be mindful of our health during the summer. He said, "Summer's longer days and milder weather is a pleasant season for many of us who enjoy time outdoors. This is great for our physical and mental health, but it can also present an entirely different set of health issues compared to the colder months. NHS 24 is highlighting its digital resources to help people get the health advice they need fast. As well as a handy summer advice page on NHS Inform, the NHS 24 hotline app is free to download and has helpful symptom checkers which provide guidance for common conditions and illnesses." Dr. Cook added, "The big benefit of using NHS digital resources like NHS Inform or the NHS 24 online app is that they're available at your convenience 24 hours a day. With a couple of quick taps on your phone, tablet or computer, you can access quality assured NHS advice that will provide details on how to safely self-manage minor health concerns or how to access the most appropriate service. Whether you have had issues with sunburn or tick bites, or have to contend with trips, slips, bumps or bruises, NHS 24 has health info readily available to help you this summer. Access NHS 24 summer health advice by visiting nhsinform.scot/summer. That's nhsinform.scot/SUMMER.
Suspected drugs deaths on the rise. There were 320 suspected drug deaths between January and March 2024. This was 8%, 23 higher than the previous quarter, and 7%, 22 higher than during the same period of 2023. The figures were released in a quarterly report presented by Police Scotland to the Scottish Government to provide an indication of current trends in suspected drug deaths in Scotland. Following a downward trend from early 2021 to late 2022, the rolling 12-month total of suspected drug deaths has risen over the last year. Males accounted for 73% of suspected drug deaths. This compares with 67% between January and March 2023. There were 86 suspected drug deaths of females, a decrease of 12%, 12 compared to the same period in 2023. Some 61% of drug deaths were of people aged between 35 and 54, similar to previous quarters.
Well, hello, how are you? It's Philip here again from Q Review, reading the church news for this week. In case you noticed that my voice is slightly different, that's because since I last spoke to you last week, I've been in bed with COVID. Never had COVID like this before. All I can say is it's worse than man flu. Anyway, off to the church news now, and we're going to Cadder Parish Church, beside the canal. For full details, please see their website, all the W's, cadderchurch.org. We look forward to welcome you this coming Sunday to our morning service. The service will be led by our probationary minister, Chris Gordon. Music is led by Javier Jose. And the Cadder kids, that is, creche, meet at the church at the start of the service and then go to the North Hall. All are welcome. Our church services are videoed and recorded and are available from the church website. Tea and coffee served after each service. The food bank, if you wish to donate to the local food bank, you can bring your donations of food to the church or the coffee shop. The early fellowship meets in person in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, also on Zoom. Now moving out a wee bit to Torrance Parish Church. The morning service in person is at 10:30 a.m, conducted by Stuart Irvin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church and Frog. Frog is a youth group who I believe meet in the church. Friends of God, I think it stands for. And to join in the service online, click torranceparishchurch.online.church. Well, that's a big one. The cafe is open every Wednesday, 9 till 2 noon, for teas, coffee and delicious homemaking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade meet on Thursdays, 7 till 9 p.m. For P7s to S6. To find out about regular weekly activities, check out the website for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. And there we have it. Now to Springfield Cambridge Church. Their morning worship is on Sunday, June the 30th, and will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. An offering will be taken during the service. Please place your offering in the offering plates as they are passed around the congregation. Excuse me, I'm still a wee bit iffy. Tea and coffee will be served in the Cavern Hall after morning worship. Come and enjoy the fellowship. The Sunday school meets in room 2, where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website. The www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, June the 26th. Who would like to speak to the minister? If you do, that's your chance to pop along to the church and speak to the minister there between 10 and 11 a.m. There will be a short weekly service of worship in Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, June the 26th from 11:10 to 11:30, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the Eastern Bartonshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. A list is attached to the cupboard, identifying specific items especially requested. And then we have the Kirkintilloch Church of God there in Regent Hall in Regent Street. Our coffee corner is now closed for the summer break and will recommence on Wednesday, August the 21st. On Sunday, there will be a Zoom service at 6:30 p.m. The speaker will be Stephen McCabe from Belfast. A warm welcome to everyone who is able to join us on Zoom. Access to the stream can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. I like that one. hello@regenthall.org. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. Jesus said, "This is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." That's in John 17. And then we move to Home Church there in Kirkintilloch, Lammermuir Road, and also they have a sister church in the East End in Carmyle. And the church services are online, and it's a church for all ages. The joy of the Lord is your strength. You read that in Nehemiah 8, verse 10. Sunday, June the 30th, there'll be 2 services as usual, 9:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Worship is also followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. Both services are the same, so it means you don't have to go to one then go to the next one. And there, it's the same in Carmyle, Home Church in Carmyle, 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Youth group meets at 7:30 p.m. Home radio is also available every day. Most activities have finished for the summer. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for the latest information for the Home Church there in Kirkintilloch and in Carmyle. And then we move to, we're still in Kirkintilloch. Yes, St Mary's Church is still in Kirkintilloch. Yeah, I nearly moved it there. The service on Sunday, June the 30th, will begin at 11 a.m. as usual and will be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities for young people in the halls during the service. Wednesday, June the 26th, will be the last Wednesday welcome until September. On this day, Tea, coffee and home baking will be available from 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m, followed by a short service. On Wednesday, July the 3rd, we will hold in one of our monthly open door days. The church will be open from 10:30 until 3:30 p.m. Tea, coffee and biscuits will be available all day. So there you go, if you want to pop out to St Mary's. Now we move to Bishopbriggs, to Kenmure Parish Church. This Sunday, John Anderson will lead our morning worship in the service, beginning at 11 a.m. There will be a period of fellowship following the service in the hall when tea, coffee and biscuits are served. All are welcome to attend, either in person or online, or on their YouTube channel. The service on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed, or later at a time that suits you. You can find our channel by simply searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. The most up-to-date details of all our groups that are currently running may be found on the What's On section of the website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find out more about them, check out Facebook. Just search for Kenmure Parish Church, and if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group or receive Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Then to Lenzie, which is fairly simple this week. Lenzie churches together, services, Lenzie Old, they meet it there on the 7th of July, the 14th of July, and the 21st of July at the Old Parish. And then in Lenzie Union, the 28th of July, the 4th of August, and the 11th of August, Lenzie Union Parish Church Cluster Service. We invite our friends from Lenzie Old, St Mary's and St David's Memorial Park for a combined church service. Then back to Bishopbriggs, Colston Well Park Church. All are welcome to our summer service this Sunday at Colston Well Park, starting at 11 a.m. and led by the Reverend Malcolm Cuthbertson. After the service, tea, coffee, etc. will be served in the hall. The art club is now closed for the summer season and will restart the new session at the end of August. If you are interested in joining the art club, please give Ramsey a call on 07709 584680 for more information. The Colston Tea Break continues this Wednesday from 11 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. and everyone is welcome to come along for good food, good chat and good company. Oh, and it's free. And then we move to St James Church, Hilton Road. The Reverend Paul Watson is the minister there. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, June the 27th at 11 a.m. and at 9 a.m. on Sunday, June the 30th. The 10:30 communion service with hymns on Sunday is in the church. The service of prayers, etc. from 10 till 10:15 in the chapel. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. On Sunday, June the 30th in the evening, there is a journey event from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m, nurturing the light within. There is also our other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media, Facebook, which is St James LS Bishopbriggs, and then the website, which is along the same lines, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Then, last but not least, Milton of Campsie Parish Church. Our stated annual meeting will be held last Sunday, thanks to all who attended, and Julie, Margaret and Kirsty for their work. Cafe Connect held its final meeting of the session last Tuesday. You are reminded that you're warmly invited to Go Mad Open Afternoon on Sunday, August the 4th from 2 p.m. onwards. Craighead PS will hold its end of season service in the church on Tuesday morning. Time to pray is on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Julie leaders and children will leave for SU camp at Gowan Bank on Saturday morning. They are in our prayers. Yeah, just 5 weeks till Go Mad. Beginning on Sunday, July the 28th, we'll run Umpolarity Holiday Club for children of all ages from July the 29th to August the 8th. 7 Up in the evenings will be cater for young people, and Boaz, a bit of a song, a bit of a sing. That's quite good, that. A bit of a sing, Boaz. We'll practice each weekday evening at 7 p.m. till 8, preparing for the charity concert on August the 8th. Don't forget the community quiz on Tuesday, July the 30th, from 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. please enter a team. Also, each weekday evening at 8:15 there will be parable prayers, a 20-minute intergenerational time of worship, followed by tea on Sunday, August the 4th. All are invited to a kinda messy church beginning at 3 p.m. and finishing with a buffet tea and chance to watch the Wonka film. A community art project will run throughout the fortnight, and sales of Kilombero rice, that's £2 a bag, will enable a child in Malawi to go to school. And our summer services is on early church. So there you have it. That's the church news for this week. And it's good to be with you, even though I've been ill since the last time I spoke to you. And the praise gathering concerts in the Royal Concert Hall at the weekend, I believe, were very successful. Unfortunately, because of my COVID, I couldn't get out of the house. In fact, I couldn't even get out of bed. I was that ill, and I was so disappointed to miss it. And if you did go to the praise gathering concert, why drop us a line or a call to Q and Review. I'd love to hear your response to that if you enjoyed the evening, and I'm sure you did. Well, it's Philip here again. Thank you for listening through this, and if there's any comments you want to make or any improvements I could do, then please contact us. I'd love to hear from you. God bless you, whatever you're doing this week or this weekend. May you know the peace and love of Jesus in your life. Amen.
District News General. Animal care. Tips to help with hay fever in pets. Tips from the PDSA. With the UK enjoying a hot spring and the temperature continuing to climb, so too is the pollen count, which can dampen the summer mood, both for people and their pets. PDSA vets, together with PDSA Pet Insurance, are reminding pet owners that furry family members can suffer from pollen allergies too, and the symptoms to look out for as the weather heats up. PDSA vet nurse Gemma Rennick comments, just like humans, pets can also suffer from pollen allergies such as hay fever. As the summer months tend to bring with them a rise in the pollen count, it's important to recognise common symptoms of hay fever or allergies in your pets. Signs include licking or biting their paws, lots of scratching and red or sore looking skin, especially around their ears, eyes, between their pads, on their feet, or on their tummy. Your pet may also appear tired or lethargic, or constantly shake their head and rub their ears or muzzle. If you notice any of these signs, make an appointment with your vet to rule out other health issues. Clean bedding. Make sure your pet's bedding is washed and hoovered weekly, as this will help remove any pollen that is built up from their trips outside during the week. Flea control. Make sure your pet's flea control is kept up to date, as regardless of the cause of their allergies, irritating fleas will only make them itchier. Check the weather. When it comes to hay fever, prevention is often better than cure, so limit your dog's exposure to pollen in the first place. If you're planning to venture outside, first check the pollen forecast for the day and plan your walks before dawn or early in the evening, as the pollen count may be lower at these times. Keep them on a lead. While we know dogs love to play in the grass, this can lead to their fur becoming covered in pollen, causing hours of misery later in the day. Keeping your pup on a lead in your grass and wiping their fur with a damp cloth, particularly their paws and muzzle, after every walk, will help remove any tiny traces of pollen. For more expert PDSA advice on how to protect your pets from pollen, visit www.pdsa.org.uk. St Columba's Men's Club. St Columba's Men's Club of Kirkintilloch meets in the halls of St Columba's Church in Old Isle Road, and it is not necessary to be a church member to join. The club, which has been in existence for many years, provides a chance for men to spend a Monday evening in very relaxed company and to participate in activities such as pool, snooker, carpet bowls, darts, table tennis and dominoes, or simply to sit and chat. The membership comes not only from Kirkintilloch, but also from Lenzie, Cumbernauld, Milton of Campsie and Bearsden. All men welcome. Kirkintilloch Canal Festival. The annual celebration of all things nautical and nice will take place on the weekend of August the 31st to September the 1st. Scotland. Beyond Van Gogh, the immersive experience. Art lovers are to be given more chances to see Beyond Van Gogh after a huge demand for tickets for Scottish premiere. A thrilling multimedia show which plunges visitors into the world of Vincent van Gogh is set to have its run extended. Beyond Van Gogh, the immersive experience, is being staged at Glasgow's Scottish Events Campus, SEC, where it will open on Thursday, July the 11th. It was due to enjoy a 25-date stay at the prestigious venue, which is Scotland's largest exhibition centre. But demand for tickets has proved so high that the decision was made to extend its run for an additional 3 weeks. It means the unmissable experience will now be open to visitors daily until Bank Holiday Monday, August 26th. Van Gogh's works are rendered into three-dimensional, fully immersive scenes that swirl and flow with exhilarating colour and movement. Beginning in the introduction hall, visitors connect with Vincent van Gogh through his personal letters he wrote to his brother and greatest supporter Theo. Visitors then move into the heart of the exhibition, the immersive room, where Van Gogh's paintings are freed from their frames to dominate the space and fully immerse the audience in his work, awakening their imagination in a dreamlike way as they are enveloped in colourful flowers, cafes and stunning landscapes, shifting and swirling across the projection-swathed walls and floor. Book at www.beyondvangogh.com. That's www.beyondvangogh.com. If you would like to highlight your group's meeting, activities or any fundraising events, we would love to hear from you. Please get in touch with full details and any photographs and send them to this email address: kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk.
Buster needs his forever home. Buster is a shy but loving and affectionate boy who is eagerly searching for the ideal forever home. Once Buster becomes familiar with you, we are confident that over time he will evolve into a wonderful companion for those who invest the time and patience to get to know him. Given he is a shy disposition, he could potentially thrive in a loving home with an experienced cat owner who has knowledge of our researched cat care. Buster would be best suited to a household with adults and older children. He would be best suited to a home without dogs or other small animals. Contact the Scottish SPCA website, https://www.scottishspca.org/rehome-a-pet/15931-Buster.
Public notices. Planning notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. Civic Government (Scotland Act 1982) application for renewal of second-hand vehicle dealer licence. The undernoted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand vehicle dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: Arnold Clark Automobiles Limited, 454 Hillington Road, Hillington Park, Glasgow, G52 4FH. Day-to-day manager: David Boyd, Flat 0/1, 4 Park Circus Place, Glasgow, G3 6AN. Premises: Arnold Clark, 69 Auchinlock Road, Lenzie, Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, G66 5EZ. Days and hours of trading: Monday to Friday 9 a.m. until 8 p.m, Saturday 9 a.m. until 6 p.m, and Sunday 11 AM until 6 PM. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3, brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be logged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Education, People and Business, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ.
Sport. Football. Gibson is new man in charge. John Gibson said it just felt right as he took over as the new manager of Kirkintilloch Rob Roy. Gibson replaces Danny Ferry, who moves across to work in the academy set up with Kevin McGoldrick. The 57-year-old prison officer arrives after an 8-year spell in charge of fellow West of Scotland First Division side, Blantyre Victoria. Gibson started his playing career at his hometown club before turning senior with Hamilton Accies and also appearing for the likes of Alloa Athletic, Stirling Albion, Stenhousemuir and Morton. Now he's hoping to return Rob Roy to the Premier Division following last season's relegation. Gibson said, "I wasn't looking to leave Blantyre. I had most of my squad signed up for next season, but when Rob Roy asked if they could speak to me, it piqued my interest. Coming at a time when the club is preparing to move into the new stadium and return to playing in Kirkintilloch, it just felt right. It is an exciting time, as I know how important it is for a club to play within its own community. When I returned to Blantyre as manager in 2016, there were no players signed and we ended up being relegated that first season. However, we were able to turn it round and enjoyed a largely successful time over the 8 years. The situation is a lot better going into Rob Roy, so hopefully we can be challenging for promotion this season. I know the club wants to return to the Premier Division as quickly as possible, but this is a really tough league, so we will need to work hard. A few players have left, but it hasn't been too bad. It isn't a situation where a manager moves on and takes the whole squad with them. Initially, I've been working to shore up the defence and midfield as good teams are built on solid foundations. Next, I'll be looking to add a few attacking options because, at the end of the day, it is goals that win you leagues."
Tigers boss hopes wins will kickstart season. This article is written by Phil Lanning and is being read by me, Corey. Glasgow Tigers team boss Cammy Brown hopes vital back-to-back victories in the double-header with Berwick Bandits will now kickstart their season. Brown hailed the performance of captain Chris Harris after a 48-41 win in the Championship at Ashfield on Friday. The visitors were in control, but Harris produced 3 outstanding passes from the back to snatch the vital victory. Brown said, "Chris was out of this world. He was unbeaten by an opponent all night, but his last 3 rides were simply incredible. He is worth the admission price alone. He saved the meeting for us. We were struggling, but Chris dragged us back into it. Chris is like a fine wine. He just gets better with age. The racing was also sensational. Fans that have been coming for years said it was the best they had ever seen at Ashfield. I have to give special praise as well for Stephen Worrell, James Pearson and Jack Smith. The 5-1 from James and Jack in Heat 14 was the real match winner probably. That put us in front before the final race. That was vital. Fair play to Berwick, they gave us one hell of a battle, but we got over the line. We still have problems to solve, we are just not getting every rider clicking on the same night. When that happens, someone is in for one heck of a beating." Tigers then made the trip to Sheffield Park the next day and came from 6 points down to snatch 47-43 win. Steve Worrell kept his cool to win the last heat decider after Harris was controversially excluded following a heavy fall of Berwick's Drew Kemp. Brown said, "I am over the moon. It's a great result for the club and the fans. The boys fought really hard for that win. The decision to exclude Chris in Heat 15 was very poor. I'm just glad we got over the line. Steve was the coolest man in the stadium to win the decider, and that's all that counts. Chris was outstanding all night and didn't deserve his meeting to end like that. I have to give a special mention for Paul Stark. He rode through the pain barrier. He was injured at Ashfield on Friday night, but he rode on and didn't want to let the team down. That's fantastic commitment and typical of a great guy. Berwick opens up a 6-point lead after Heat 4, but a vital tactic substitution 5-1 from Harris and Worrell got the Tigers back into it. Harris was once again different class all night, only dropping a point to Kemp before his exclusion. Brown added, "Overall it's a vital win for us. Our season needs a kick-start from this point on. Chris, Steve and Leon Flint were excellent. Jack Smith was once again the hero with another brilliant win in Heat 14. We still have to improve, but that was our best performance of the season. Our top three were so solid, and when they perform like that, we can be a match for anyone. Tigers will look to keep up the momentum at home to Plymouth Gladiators in the Championship on Friday." That article was written by Phil Lanning, and it was read by me, Corey. Warriors fundraising smashes target. This article is unattributed, but it's being read by me, Corey. Glasgow Warriors has raised £53,971 through its inaugural Fighting for Our Families campaign, exceeding the target by 215%. Over the past 10 months, Warriors, alongside supporters, grassroots rugby clubs and sponsors, notably Leodis and its backing of the Plaster It Purple event, has been fundraising for the Glasgow Children's Hospital charity. Warriors players Andy Miller and Ollie Smith visited the hospital last week to hand over the cheque. They also took the opportunity to present the Scottish ex-Italian Shield, which the club won the Shield on behalf of the charity, part of the URC's Shield for Good initiative. Miller said, "At this time of the year, many of the children being looked after in the hospital may be missing out on big summer events at school. It was a privilege to meet them and give them something to remember." The Shield is now displayed at the Glasgow Children's Hospital charity fundraising hub until Monday, July 1st. Warriors Managing Director Al Kellogg, who is from Bishopbriggs, said, "Thank you to all those who have donated to our Fighting for Our Families campaign this season. Your unwavering support has exceeded our expectations, more than doubling any of our previous fundraising efforts. We are proud of this campaign and look forward to making it even bigger and better in the coming year. It is our pleasure to support one of Glasgow's most recognised charities, and we are extremely grateful for every contribution made." That article was unattributed, but it was read by me, Corey.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.